Happy Halloween, Jeffrey.
It's not Halloween.
My sweater says differently. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Board gamey things.
Exactly. We are back again today with another pumped up Kickstarter. The camera is so zoomed in on us.
I was going to say something, but I was like, I don't want to cut her off because then she's going to get annoyed at me.
Do you think we should zoom it out? Or is it okay? I think it's fine.
It's fine.
Welcome to our faces. This is what you're getting from us today. So today's preview video is going to be on Core of Discovery from Off the Page Games. This video is sponsored by Off the Page Games, so shout out to Off the Page Games for sponsoring this preview. Now, as per usual,
What's the publisher?
It's Off the Page Games.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember whether or not I said it.
One more time.
Off the Page Games.
Right.
OFFTHE for the page, PAGE, and games, G''A', -M, capital E, lowercase s.
OTPG. Not to be confused with OFPG.
Exactly, they're different. Correct.
Different things.
So that was a tangent.
That was a long bit.
And we are still zoomed in on our faces. So here we out here. As per usual with our preview videos, we're going to give you a little overview of the game and then we're going to jump into a discussion. So let's just get to it because we've already daddled enough, if you ask me, Jeffrey.
Lewis and Clark are tasked not only with exploring America, but with ridding the land of numerous invasive monsters that have appeared. Core of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny, is a cooperative deduction game in which players each take the role of one of the crew on the expedition and set out to explore the land. In addition to finding and killing monsters, you must also complete numerous daily challenges that require specific resources that you can find on the board. You have to use logic and deduction to reason out where the resources you need are located. Ally yourselves with Sacagawea and the indigenous people of the area to help you on your quest.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about Core of Discovery. Now, before we get started, let's just state the obvious.
God, you're so close to the camera, man.
Thought maybe if I did this, people would listen to me more. Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? All right, let's state the obvious. Off the Page Games makes games from off of the page. Meaning they typically make games that are based off of different like graphic novel series.
I never made that connection.
Ever.
Until right now. I never knew.
This guy.
That's clever.
Unbelievable.
I get it now.
Yeah, so
Way to
you
go,
may
guys.
know them from games such as Harrow County,
Or-
Mind MGMT. It is the design team of Jay Cormier and Sen Foon Lim. Shout out to Canada.
Canada,
right.
represent.
So this is the newest game that they have designed together, and it is based off of a comic book graphic novel series called Manifest Destiny. So if you recognize the artwork and the story, that is what it is based off of, okay? Now this is, I don't think I've ever played a game quite like this before, so it is kind of like an exploration, deduction, fighting, living, survival game, and the comic book is based off of none other than Lewis and Clark. Have you heard of them?
I just had this sudden urge to throw cards.
Don't, Jeff.
You know what I mean? Like,
So it has a lot going on, but I would say the biggest mechanism in this game is the deduction piece. Now, you may have noticed in the B-roll that I did that I couldn't show you a lot, and that is because there are a lot of spoilers in this game. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to choose a map, a scenario, and you are then going to
This isn't going to go well.
Yes,
this
it
isn't
is.
going to...
Uh-oh. It didn't go well. It didn't go well.
Didn't I call it, people?
Jeff, it didn't go well.
I called it immediately.
It didn't
and
go
she
well.
just soldiered on.
It
And was
didn't.
like, that'll be fine.
These aren't meant to be tipped over and poured out like a teapot. Okay, anyways, let's just do it this way. This is kind of what you're working with, and inside of this board is a little paper that has different icons on it, and that's why we can't show you what's under there, because you need to explore the map, trying to uncover
Oh my God. Put it down.
trying to uncover different resources and items, potentially monsters, in order to successfully beat the scenario, basically. So this is the Fauna Map 104. So your goal is to kill 3 monsters, and you start in column 7. So it tells you what your goal is, tells you where you can start, and basically on your turn, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be exploring, which means kind of picking up one of the tiles and seeing what's underneath.
And maybe you have a little hint.
Yes, well, that's actually a great time to talk.
Is it? I didn't even plan
about
that,
this.
but you're welcome.
So you might be like, well, how the heck would I even make a decision? Am I wandering blindly? Well, no, because each of the,
Campaigns?
not even scenarios, but each of the types of scenarios, so like the fauna scenario, you're going to have this reference guide, and it's going to tell you things like water is always orthogonally adjacent to wood, which is always orthogonally adjacent to water. So it's going to give you all of these different things. There's one there's one wood per column and one wood per row. So you have information that is going to help you to deduce where things are before you make a move. There is also a mechanic in the game called backtrack, where you can, if you reveal something and you're like, I don't want to do that. Well, if you've made fire at that point, then you can spend fire to backtrack, and then you don't have to do that bad thing. So there are ways to mitigate
you're like,
some of the exploration.
What's over there with a torch, maybe? You're like, what's over there? And you see it, and you're like, nope.
Exactly.
But then your torch is gone.
It's gone. So every time that you explore, you will lift off one of the paths from the map, and then you are going to place it. I just happen to have everything in front of me.
That's a spicy one,
right? You're going to place it right up here, and each of these sections are going to have a challenge that you need to overcome within a certain amount of days. So as an example, this cold snap, you need to have placed 3 of these days in order to overcome it, and then at that point you need to be able to do the thing. So most of them, it's going to be like exchanging in resources, maybe, hey, give a wood, maybe some food, lose a couple of water, those types of things. Once you complete all of the challenges that are on that current board for that round, you are then going to go into what is called the end of day. And guess what you have to do at the end of the day? You have to be able to feed
I thought you grabbed the mud, and I was like, that's not what
you have to throw mud at people. So you have to be able to feed your people. So you have to have made sure that before you get to that point, you have food to feed your people. Otherwise, you die.
Tina, eat
you
the
starve.
food.
Tina, eat your dinner, you fat lard.
Tina, eat the food.
Anyways, you have to be able to do that, and then you're going to go into a night phase, which is going to kind of go into a few other things about monsters and all of this stuff. So if you can't feed your people, you die and you lose. If you run out of water, because water is another resource that you're going to be gaining, if you run out of water, you die of thirst.
Well, that thematically makes sense.
The wilderness is rough, okay? It's quite rough. Now, each of your characters that you're going to play have a special ability that they're going to be able to do. You also are going to, you are also going to start with some gear that is going to be very helpful for you. Those are the Destiny cards. If you complete or explore an entire column or row, then you get to take one of the 2 available Destiny cards, which are also going to be helpful to you. While the game is trying to kill you, it is at the same time trying to help you not die.
As quickly,
basically. Now, on the map somewhere, there is potentially, and by potentially I mean there are, some threats that are going to come up, monsters, maybe a minotaur, maybe something like that you then have to defeat. So, this game, very challenging to win. Do you want to know why? Survival is not easy. Also, I forgot to mention, you got this backpack, and if you get to a point, typically here when you complete one of your challenges, then you have to do this thing, and if you have stuff here in these 2 red spots, you're fatigued.
Yeah, because
you're freaking tired.
You can't carry so much, man.
And that's not good either.
It's not like video games where you can just carry 200 items and you're like, this is fine.
You cannot. So hand me those folders over there, please, Jeff.
I don't think
Come on, Vanna White.
You didn't ask very nicely.
Give them to me. So these are, like I mentioned, you get different folders, and once again, I can't really. Whoa!
Whoa.
There's a bunch of maps in here, and they're double-sided.
That's like pulling up your pant leg.
Scandal. In the fauna set, there's also training missions that help ease you into the game, and then, would you look at that, there's also a way to log your game. And then chapter 2, you're getting into flora, where you are trying to defeat killer plants. Have you ever heard of a Venus flytrap? Do you ever want to get eaten by one?
What if one was the size of you?
Bigger. That's person.
What if there was one the size of 50 of you?
It's too many.
I don't know if that math worked out.
It's too many. Okay? Now, each scenario is going to give you like special setup. It is going to give you special win conditions. It is going to tell you which monsters and threats and that you can use, which characters you can use. Things are often, I think I took them all
designated by iconography.
Things are designated by iconography. As an example, this challenge is used in the fauna phase. That's why there's teeth. Anything that has a plant is used during the flora phase because flora is flowers.
Phase or chapter?
Scenario, chapter. Yeah. So a big thing in chapter 2 with the plant that you are trying to kill is fire. So fire is going to be like a big element. I mean,
fire kills plants, man.
I've heard it.
Charmander beats Venusaur.
That's actually very accurate. Yes. And water beats rock.
Yes.
Squirtle beats Onyx.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We out here. Pokemon knowledge.
Now, there's a bunch of people that are making lots of content on this, just by the way. But we're just going to focus a little bit on chapter 2, which is, like we mentioned, the flora. It does have search cards, which are going to come up. It also has some new terrain, including Petrified Forest, which doesn't sound great.
That sounds petrifying.
It sounds petrifying. And it also has Sacagawea. You can find her in there. And hills. Anyways, the point is, it's hard to say too much without spoiling anything.
Indubitably.
But just know that every chapter has a different goal and a different setup. And there are multiple different kinds of chapters to choose from. Fauna.
Some would say.
Flora. Etc.
Some would say variability.
Variability, for sure. Now, you may be wondering, who is this game for? This game, Jeffrey, who do you think it's for?
If you like those types of games that are a bit survivally and difficult, like, I don't know, Seventh Continent, where you're kind of venturing around and figuring stuff out, deducing. Yeah. But if you like that kind of theme and that kind of struggle in games, it might be something worth checking out.
Yeah, if you enjoy like a logic puzzle, I definitely think this is the kind of game for you because, like, as an example, search for Planet X, search for Lost Species, where you know, okay, well, if this is this, then this can't be here. And if that can't be here, that means that this has to be here. Because that is kind of what you are working with, and you are just trying to survive by deducing where things are. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, well, guess what? This could be a great game for you.
I do think if you're a solo gamer, the solo mode of this would be something to check out.
Yes, for sure. And like Jeff said, if you enjoy a challenge, this would be a game for you because it is meant to be difficult because that's the theme. Like the theme is you need to survive, and sometimes you're going to make oopsies, and like I said before, there's ways to mitigate that, but just know that you're going to be up for a little bit of a challenge. Now, who might this not be for?
One more thing for people it might be for. If you like the
obviously. If you like the graphic novel. Yeah.
Probably something to check out as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be for you if any of that stuff sounds like something that you wouldn't enjoy.
If you're looking for a smooth, easy, kind of breezy situation, maybe not.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of different mechanics in this. Like we said, there's even, overcoming different threats and overcoming monsters. And, with that comes, it is not that this is like a horror themed game, but there are like scary things in it. So just so you know, if you're not into like monsters and fighting and that kind of thing, it might not be the right fit for you.
Yeah.
But that is a little bit about Core of Discovery. Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of people who have put content out for this already. Rahdo has a run through and a playthrough. Alex and Meg over at Board Game Co. have done some content, so there's lots to check out. So as always, we recommend go watch as much as you can so that you can find out whether or not this is a good game for you.
As I say in all of these videos, make informed buying decisions.
It's a new thing that we like to say. Be a smart shopper.
Be a smart shopper.
Shopper. Anyways, that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, this one will be Kickstarter, but other games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
You can find some of Off the Page's other titles there. Okay?
Yes.
You can.
You can.
Do you like snacks?
I do.
People get snacks again? Munchback, that's correct. And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye!
Later days.
Ta-da!
That was very Minion sounding.
Ta-da! Ta-na-na.
You should do the whole thing like that.
No. Like when
Gambit.
people do this, like I won't do it with these cards.
No.
Okay.
Not like that. You're crazy.
Okay.
I feel like I'm the agent of chaos in this video.
A little bit.
Do you want to smell up to, or do you want to wake up tomorrow to the smell of fresh bacon?
Do you want to smell up tomorrow?